Aye. So in this video what we're going to do is we're going to add fractions or subtract fractions where we need to change both denominators. Okay, so we need to find the number, if we look at this first example, that 4 and 3 both can get changed into, because 4 is the denominator of the left hand fraction and 3 is the denominator of the right hand fraction. Okay, so if we count up the multiples of 4, we get 4, and then we get 8, and then we get 12. So I'm just going up in the times table. 4 is not in the 3 times table, 8 is not in the 3 times table, but 12 is in the 3 times table. So what I can get from that is that the lowest common multiple, is what we would call it, of 4 and 3 is 12. So what we need to do is change both those fractions into 12ths. And I can do that by multiplying the quarter, both the numerator and the denominator, by 3, and on the 2/3, I can multiply that by 4, both the numerator and the denominator. So there what we see is I multiplied the left-hand fraction by 3, both the numerator and the denominator, and I got 3/12. And I multiplied the right-hand fraction by 4, both the numerator and the denominator, and I got 8/12. Now I can add those fractions. 3/12 plus 8/12 is 11/12. Okay, so let's look at another one. We need to find, example 2, we need to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4. So let's count up the multiples of 6. 6 and then 12. Is 12 in the 4 times table? Yes, it is. So again, the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4 is 12. So how am I going to change 5 6 into 12s? And how am I going to change 1/4 into 12s? I'll see if you can work it out while I do it. So there, what I did was I multiplied the 5 6 by 2 with the numerator and the denominator, and that gave me 10/12, and I multiplied the 1/4 by 3 with the numerator and the denominator, and that gave me 3/12, and then 10/12 minus 3/12 is 7/12, and that's the final answer. So, if we look at example 3, the first step is get rid of those whole numbers, deal with them separately, and then we can deal with the 1/7 plus 1/3 like we've done for example 1 and 2. So there what I've written is I've changed that 3 and a 7th plus 2 and a 3rd to 5, and then I put a bracket and it's 1/7 plus 1/3. So now we need to work out the lowest common multiple of 7 and 3. So let's count up in the 7 times table. 7, 14, is that in the 3 times table? No. So keep going, 21. 21 is in the 3 times table, so I can change 1/7 and 1/3 to both be 21s. So there, what you can see is I multiplied the 7th by 3 for the numerator and the denominator, and I multiplied the 1/3 by 7 for the numerator and the denominator, and that gave me 3 21s plus 7 21s, which gives me 5 whole numbers and 10 21s. Okay? So let's look at the next one. First step, 10 and 5/8 minus 2 and 2/5. Let's get rid of the whole numbers as much as possible. So there you can see I've done 10 minus 2 is 8. Now we need to think about what can we change 5/8 and 2/5 to be, which have the same denominator. So like we've done before, take the biggest fraction, or the biggest denominator, which in this case is 8, and count up in the 8 times table till we get a number which is also in the 5 times table. So we got 8, 16, 24, 32, and then 40. So the lowest common multiple of 8 and 5 is 40. So there, what I've done is I've multiplied the 5 eighths, both the numerator and the denominator, by 5, giving me 25 40ths. And then I multiplied the 2 fifths by 8, both the numerator and the denominator, giving me 16 40ths. Then 25 40ths minus 16 40ths gives me 8 and 9 40ths. Okay? Now, last question. We could do this more actually in our head. So the first thing what we've done, let's deal with the whole numbers first. Now there's different ways of doing this, but if we visually think about it, we've got, imagine 2 is a whole number. We've got 2 whole pizzas minus a third. If I have 1/3 of one of those pizzas, how many pizzas am I going to have left? Well, 2 whole pizzas take away 1/3 of one. I'm going to have 1 full pizza and then 2/3 remaining. But what I can do is I'll show you that visually. So there, 4 minus 2 1/3 gives us 2 minus a third. And then if you've got 2 whole pizzas and you take away a third of one of them, you're going to have 1 whole pizza plus 2/3 left over. So that's how we can add and subtract fractions by changing both denominators.